Your last development program is the solution to your life. And if you use it, you will have everything that you want because it guides you to your authentic self, to your soul mission, and it removes the blockages that you've had about why you couldn't get there. That's what happened. And it only took me 36 years to receive it, but it took me 74 years of living my life to know that it works and that it could happen for you. Now, it's a philosophy because the philosophy came about because our world changed. When a new philosophy comes into the world, it comes through individuals who have lived certain things and kind of understand what has happened in the human experience and can give it back to others. And that was the life I had led. Now, mine was quite different, which is why you might not have heard of it, might not have understood it, because it came about in a way that no other work had ever been created. I sat down in 1989 and I began receiving cosmic guidance. So I'm talking about universal consciousness, which I believe is what holds us all together, which is what keeps our world together. But I started accessing that information and I did it every single day. And then what I did was I moved through my life and went through every horrible thing imaginable. And this work cured it all, healed it, changed it, transformed it. But I was still unsure because it didn't make sense to me because this has never happened before. And then today I knew again that it was all quite accurate because we had all the stock market fluctuations, let's call them. But Wilhelm told us that was be happening. Everything is energy. And there are energetic shifts that happen throughout our time, throughout our world, and we happen to be in the midst of one right now. And all these years, Wilhelm was giving me this information that was aligned with the changes that were happening. When you come into alignment to who you are, your authentic self, when you were born, your genetic code, then you live the life you're supposed to have. You become successful. You do all sorts of other things and create something new to give to others. That's what we're all meant to do. But belief is the thing that will really get you, and especially during this time. We're sitting at a time right now where we're looking at the world and all the markets and wondering what's happening. Well, that's because we were trying to change things, and Wilhelm said all of that. I created a little document that I'll leave here too that shows all the messages that they gave us in 2020 to say that this was going to be the shift that we would experience. But the way that we manage this shift is that we become more empowered. We become more abundant because that is energy again that is within you. And so I'm going to leave you a few documents because it's so much fun. I've been doing so much discovery, let's say, because I had to understand how did this work heal my life? How did I do mind body healings that had never been accomplished before? And it's because of using the information that Wilhelm gave about our consciousness. And if you go to the site today, any advice for today, you will see that it's laid out over the years of how it was a progression of information. And the progression turned into a full philosophy that I have so much material that no one would ever finish it. But I'm going to finish it now because I want more people to evolve, to expand, to become abundant, because that's what will happen when you do this work. Now, you could be having a really challenging time right now, and that's because you're being asked to move to the next place in your life of who you can become. And I know that it is something that is valuable. You may not have seen it, but I can always tell and see it. When I started doing live channeling, that was never anything that I wanted to do, but I want you to understand I put up a video yesterday that was done in 2021, which when I first began. And if you listen to that video, it'll tell you exactly what's going on today, because that's how I received information. We exist in consciousness, and consciousness will shift. You can raise your consciousness to greater understanding. And because I have done this for so long, I developed this super consciousness so I can access information. But that was also something that I did not know and I did not understand I was doing. I'm saying this because I don't want anyone to judge themselves, because you're going to discover things about yourself that are going to be surprising that you never knew. That is the purpose of life. but I'm going to show you these documents because they are quite fascinating. One of the biggest difficulties that we have in our lives is comparing ourselves to others, but we can take inspiration from others. But then we have to understand that we live at this time. So whatever we are developing could be just as important or valuable of all those who came before, because that's how we evolve. We evolve through consciousness that is passed down to us. And so we have to decide if we're important enough to put our names on that list of someone who did something amazing and brought something to the world. And it took me forever to put my name there, but it's what I'm doing now because I will show you why. See, all these guys um, brought up something that was new and different and over different times. And this is in a chronological order, as you can see. And then I come down at the very bottom, and that's where I am because I'm offering something in a very different way. It's social development. That's really what this is about because that's what we're moving through. And so, Wilhelm, your life operating instructions, a philosophy for the new world of inclusion, acceptance, and evolutionary evolvement, the intersection of science, spirituality, and human potential. And that's exactly what has come through this work. And but the reason that it's different is that it connects you to you. You have an energetic thing within you that you're meant to do because everything again in the universe is energy. And I put together one thing I want to show you because I didn't understand how Wilhelm was giving me this information and why it was so powerful and why it worked. It's because I connected to energetic shifts that were happening unconsciously. I didn't know that, and that's why this was so different. And this is why I'm also heavily going to delve into experimenting and developing more because it's kind of blowing me away of what it is, what it's turned out to be. But let me show you this. Again, everything is energy. Just kind of think about that. That changes over time. And I want to show you, and that energy is organized by our planets and galaxies and all of that. We don't always understand it, and we keep figuring it out. I was given a way or developed the ability to figure it out unbeknownst to me, but that is what I did. And that's why I am committing to finishing it now because it's the most I don't know. It's going to be some great development for humankind. That's what it's turning out to be. But let me show you this, and I'll leave the link for it again. I just went through and I said, because I kept finding that Wilhelm had given us stuff on energetic days that were happening. And so I said, is this really happening? So I took every event from 2024 and it was absolutely accurate. I did more. I did others. I'll leave some links there because it just was so surprising because I have no awareness that this was happening, even down to today. So I will leave this document because I want you to understand that there's nothing happening accidentally. And what I mean by that is you have something you were born to do. And once you become aligned with it, that means moving through all your blockages that have been there. Some of them are generational. We don't come into the world knowing everything. We come in with information that we've accepted from all those who've come before, our parents, our ancestors, or whatever. But then it becomes our job to do something new. And if we don't do that, we end up in a place where we don't thrive. The world goes into conflict, and that's what's happening now. Every single thing that is happening, Wilhelm told us about. And so I'm going to publish the thing about the money as well. I'm going to do that article because in 2020, they told us everything that we would be experiencing with money because we needed to have a new shift, you see, into making ourselves that much more valuable, and that's energetic again. And it's a process that you move through day by day, and that's what I did. So check out all the work, and please, if it's your first time here, subscribe to the channel, share it with others, and just know that this work is the solution to your life. And so now you never have any excuses about what you can achieve, where you can go, because you will always have support and guidance, and you can achieve anything. That I do know. All right. See you soon.